sketch, basically. And you would somehow create an hour of music with this ensemble from these cues. And especially what really shocked me in that first time I saw it was this, one of the techniques he uses called memory one or something.
Right.
Basically, he'd recall something from a long time, like what felt musically like a long time ago, like 30 minutes ago, and summon it again. So then it's like sonata form or something. Suddenly the recurrence of something, where you're like, oh, we've been here before, which means this is not just a random walk through kind of free space. It's actually, like you said, architecture. And that regardless of like how I felt about any segment of it or moment of it, the fact that he did that was so, to me, just revolutionary. And then when we got to work with him together, and we got to like experience that in the early 2000s at Bowery Poetry Club. Do you remember that run?
You played some of those.
Yeah.
That was in Black February?
Yeah, I think it was actually before that. It was like a year or two before that.
Yeah, I remember.
Tyshawn was in it, Ok Young Lee was in it.
Right, that's right, he did play.
Bunch of like,
yeah. That was when his brother died. That was around that time when Wilbur died. Yeah. The whole memory thing, I mean, it's the challenge is to remember what you played 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, even if some people do, then there's enough of it there that it's like, oh, this is sort of a variation of what happened.
Yeah.
So then and I remember also that he would sometimes work with like 2 lines of notated music and just sort of use that as material, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Transforming it.
He would use those lines as the memories. Like if one line is one, and the next line is 2, and then all this other stuff can happen.
Yes. Yeah. And it was like incredible drama, and it was very symphonic. Well, I wonder if we could listen to some of that, but I'm not sure it really does it justice, honestly. As much as I listened to that record, Dust to Dust, when it came out. I feel like there's more to it than...
Yeah, there's some other recordings of Butch that maybe exemplify more,
There's that whole box set called Testament.
Yeah.
And then there's a thing we did with Brent Sugar called The Rights.
Right.
Anyway, it's best to see footage, actually, to kind of see how it's happening. But then, like, the last thing is because I know you're working on this massive Requiem project, and what if you could tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, this is a piece that I started composing in 2020. When I had COVID and I was really sick and I couldn't play, and we didn't know what the outcome was going to be with this, there was going to be a vaccine or what, But I said, well, okay, I can't play, but I can sit at the piano. I'm going to try to write. Then I started writing some things, and then it just developed, and then the George Floyd incident happened when he was killed, and then the protest for the George Floyd incident. I remember thinking, okay, all this stuff I've been writing is going to be a requiem. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to need to study the form and all this, and I decided to use the same form that Benjamin Britten used for the war requiem. And he had a poet compose kind of a libretto in English. So I spoke to Carrie Mae Weems, and she gave me some text from a project she had used previously. She said, you can use this however you want to use it.
Yeah.
So I used that as the English text. And then the other parts in Latin, it's requiem form.
So that's still in process.
It's just about finished. I think I have about 6 more bars to write.
6 bars.
And I have a lot of touching up to do with the engraving and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, all that stuff. But the piece is mostly done.
And then what's gonna happen?
Then I need to find someone. I need to find someone to perform it. So I was getting close, and it looks like that. What I thought was going to happen is not going to happen. But you know, so I got to get back and hustle. You know?
So full orchestra, choir, and
Yeah.
soloist.
Yeah, full orchestra, the full choir, and a solo baritone.
Yeah. And what's the text like?
What's it like? The text for the baritone, or
Yeah. Or anyway.
well, the stuff that Carrie May gave me is mostly dealing with a lot of what was happening politically while Obama was president leading up to Trump, and it's got a lot of that information and sentiment in that period of time and what the country was going through, and it's got that element in it.
Well, we could listen to more music, or maybe I wonder, is it fair to take a couple questions from folks here? Do people have questions?
Yes.
Yes.